All right, so I watched Tron Ares, and I'm just gonna cut straight to the chase. It's pretty bad. It's like very bad actually. The script is really bad. The acting is like mid and whatever. There's like no emotional heart to it. I think like the fight scenes are pretty lame. Like the visuals, like it's just like red. It's not anything too special. And the music isn't even that like good or anything. Like I was kind of surprised at this. It was like, it's kind of like a normal like score. So I feel like there's no real use of analyzing this movie in actuality. So I'm just going to talk about little things here and there that I found were interesting or actually kind of fun sometimes. And I think the first thing is there's just so much corporate tech mumbo jumbo stuff, and the first 40 minutes is just so boring. It's like exposition of, oh, this child of this previous person from the last movie that you did not see because it was 15 years ago and it wasn't even that popular of a movie is now in control, and he had to download this place and get into this game and go into a different grid, and then this person found another digital thing in this grid, and then they found this, and that is super important. Now the other person wants this, and they're going to hack this person, but inside the real grid thing, it's actually like real people doing stuff. But in the real world, it's just like you're typing and stuff. And so it's just like, oh, I'm going to download your code, and then this programming is going to do this, and this means that you can. It's like a lot of nothing, and there's no just like frame of context or reference for any of this stuff. So like the first 40 minutes, I was like, I usually do not fall asleep during movies, and I wasn't even tired. This was like a 3 p.m. showing that I went to, but yo, I was struggling during this time. But anyways, I think Jared Leto and Greta Lee are like fine. I don't really know too much about them in other projects. I don't think I've seen Greta Lee in anything. And Jared Leto, I'm not like a big Jared Leto fan, but I don't think they were bad. I don't think they were good. Like their characters had pretty much nothing going on. But there's this like 15 kind of minute section that I found like to be kind of fun. It's like after Eve and Ares, those two characters, they escape from the grid and they're now both in the real world. And they're kind of just like driving away from these people who are chasing them. And they're talking and kind of like joking around, but also like getting to know each other. And for a little bit, it's like this fun kind of buddy cop movie between this like CEO who's like grieving her sister's death, and then this like robot guy who lives inside of a machine who's trying to like gain sentience. And like that's kind of interesting. That probably would have been a more fun or interesting movie than this thing, but like whatever. I also think it's really weird that Jared Leto's Ares character like wants to be human from the very beginning. Usually when you see these like Pinocchio, I want to be a real boy movies, like they start with a very like, oh, like I am strictly in my thingy, like Buzz Lightyear or whatever, or Pinocchio. And then slowly over time they like realize that there are human experiences that they can have, or they can feel love or like experience like, oh my gosh, what? Why wouldn't you kill me? That's like against your orders, against your programming or whatever. And then slowly over time they realize, oh, like there's beauties of humanity, right? But like from the beginning, Jared Leto's just kind of like, I want to do my own thing, you know? So like we don't get to see that like cool like humanity realizations, which just like feels odd. And like they even do this with Jodie Turner Smith's character. Like for a second, like at some point, she like feels water for the first time on like her hands and stuff, and she's like, oh my gosh, she's like taken aback. She like freezes because she's like, I've just never felt the sensation of water on my fingers before. And that's like the only time that in this movie that is filled with a bunch of just like fake robot people who live inside like a machine deal with the idea that like, yo, there's a human existence where I can feel things, where I can make choices, where I can have thoughts and emotions and stuff. And so that was just like really weird because like that's not at all how you do one of these movies, right? Like if you're gonna try to do the I want to be a real boy thing, like try to actually do that, you know? But anyways, I was also really surprised at how much Greta Lee was in this movie. Like she is the lead of this movie, and of course I've never seen anything else like that she's done. Like apparently Past Lives and some other stuff. But like I saw her in the trailer, like, and I was like, oh, like that must just be like some Asian lady extra that is running away from all like the terror that's happening in the city. But no, she's like the main character for sure in this movie. For the entirety of the movie, I couldn't really like pinpoint like what her deal was. Like there's some times where she's like riding the motorcycle or like kind of running away from people and like being super clever, and she seems like she's very competent and like a badass. But then there's also times where she's kind of like really weirdly scared in a way that doesn't make sense. So I was like, is she supposed to be a competent like cool fighter that you're like yes, or is she just kind of like in over her head? I don't really know. And then also like I think the way that Greta Lee's line deliveries are, maybe it was the way she was directed, maybe it was just her own personal acting twist, or maybe that's like the way that it was in the script. Like it felt very flat in a lot of ways, and like when she was giving emotion, I felt like, oh, there were times where this is supposed to be an emotional outburst or beat, but it just feels really stilted. And I don't know, it just like felt weird. And I think better actors and actresses probably could have elevated what Jared Leto and Greta Lee had, but also like what they had was just so insanely bad that like I don't even blame them. Also, random thing, Hassan Minhaj, the guy from that Netflix like explainer show where he like talks about like, oh, this is like a real problem that you didn't know about, and let me explain it to you, and also like make some jokes during the meantime. Like he was in this movie as like an actual character, and not as like Hassan Minhaj, like the personality. He was just a real character, which I feel like that is a thing of the past where like celebrities would play actual characters. Now, like if celebrities like him are in movies, like he's not really an actor, right? But like if they're in movies for like the cameo and for the bit. So like that just kind of felt weird and cool at the same time, almost. But anyways, another thing, like I was reading the Wikipedia plot online after I watched the movie, right? And it was talking about like, oh, like this character does this because of this, or he thinks that this is gonna happen, and he realizes, oh, like this person does this, or like it basically explains a bunch of the motivations for the characters, and I'm like, wow, I did not like catch on any of that. But also, I feel like I did not miss any part of the movie, and I was not confused at any point in the movie. But I missed all of their like supposed motivations and stuff, and that's where like the script just feels so thin and so weak. Like, there's probably a good story in here, but like this is definitely it feels like a first draft thing, or like something that was cut to like 20 billion pieces. But anyways, I just feel like they like focused on probably the least interesting things in this world. Like if you are able to basically 3D print any organic material that you like input into a computer, like real people, orange trees, like cars, animals, like bro, how do we not have any kind of conversation into like the ethics of that, or like have real people react to that, or like kind of show how the world is reacting to this like new invention thing, right? Like, but no, every single one of our characters is either some bigwig CEO or a fake robot, and like it's just so detached from reality that like nothing matters, and like it doesn't matter because like this fake world is connected to this fake world, and we're gonna go into this fake world, and our real world is not even a real world because like no one even lives in it and no one ever populates it, and like the most that we get about the real world is just like CNN clips of people talking about the CEOs, and it's like okay, whatever. And like literally there are times where there are like massive like flying spaceships out of our world, and like these like Tron cars and like planes like basically having like World War III in the sky in like New York City. And then it's just like, oh, there's like a random attack that is happening outside. Is possibly the CEO of this person like related to this? It's like, what? Why is this the news coverage? Like, this is like, oh my gosh, the world is gonna freaking end kind of thing, you know? So I don't know. It just like felt dumb in a lot of ways, and like none of this would happen in this instance. Also, like there's some weird stuff where it feels like some at some points like Ares and Eve are like flirting or like could be a thing, and like there's no confirmation of that at all in the actual movie. But like I think this would be more interesting than anything we got in this movie of like, oh yo, like I'm falling in love with like an AI, which is a thing that people do now because people talk to like AI girlfriends and stuff, and like you know there are other movies like Her that like have done this better or whatever, but like bro, choose at least one of the actual interesting threads from AI and like artificial intelligence. Not just like, oh, I want to be real boy. Like, okay, whatever. Like, anyways, the movie's bad. I thought it was bad. I'm not really thinking about it anytime more than this, but yeah, like don't watch it. It's whatever. Disney failing at another IP that they're trying to like gain money from. It's gonna be a bust at the box office at best, and so whatever. On to the next.